What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian, in the building, getting ready to jump this thing off tonight, talking about the Falcons versus the Yucks. We might as well call them the Bucs, call them by their regular name, but they still trash anyway, just like them sorry ain'ts that's playing right now. But hey, you know what to do. If you're in the chat, drop us a line, say what's up on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for us so we can go ahead and start. We got a special guest right now tonight that's dropping in, another host of another show. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself after we get this doggone introduction going, baby. You know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. You in the bird cage. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? You already know what time it is. Welcome to the bird cage. For those that my name is Ryan Walker, better known as story, and we got some things in store for you guys tonight. We got a special guest that's coming through to chop it up with us tonight to talk about the Bucs and the Birds for Sunday. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and bring my crew in. We got my guy K Dub, Killer Killian Worthy in the building. What's going on, K Dub? Welcome back to the cage, man. We had you on last night, and we definitely appreciate you coming through again tonight. What's happening?
What it is, BirdCage family, subscribers and listeners out there, man. Glad to be in the building once again. Back like a rubber rematch, and let's get into these Birds and Bucs, and it's good to go and get this first place in the division. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it here, story. Have a great guest in the house tonight.
Yes, sir. We got our guy Graybeard that's getting ready to jump in here with us. But while we're waiting on our guy Graybeard, we're gonna go ahead and introduce our first timer on our show. But he definitely has something jumping over there with Smitty. We got good old into the building, man. One of the true soldiers of this ATL movement for the podcasters. What's going on, Big Smitty?
Hey, what's up, Ryan? Thank you for welcoming me on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, much love. We appreciate you for coming through, man. We definitely appreciate that. And we definitely are happy to have you on, man. You know how we get down, baby. So tell us a little bit about yourself and talk about your show a little bit on here before we jump on these Falcons or whatnot, because we have some members that might have your platform as well, just like you have some folks coming through checking us out tonight. So go ahead, bro.
Right, before I get started, man, y'all please go, if y'all tuning in for the first time, please go ahead and just press that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so every time Ryan go live, y'all can catch it, man. But me, myself, man, I've been in podcasting for about 9 years now and about 4.5 on YouTube. And growing a fan base is not easy. And I thank the Falcon Nation for boosting my channel, man, because without the Falcon Nation, man, I wouldn't be nothing. As I look at it, man, to grow in this business, man, you just gotta, support people, man. And that's the biggest thing I learned. Just like everything else in life, man, just support. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Support each other. Because we all trying to represent the logo, the brand of the Atlanta Falcons. So that's how I keep my head on straight.
Most definitely. Well, we also got the other cat that's up in the building, our other guy, one of the OGs of this thing here that's been with us since day one. We got Graybeard, better known as Glenn Smalls. Welcome to the building, Big Glenn.
Fellas, what's going on? BirdCage family, how y'all doing? Smitty, the honor and the privilege, man. I watch a couple of your shows, man. I love your content, my man. Salute.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna go ahead without further ado. We getting ready to go ahead and jump in this thing I got tongue twisted just now, so y'all forgive me. I'm gonna say just like a trapeze artist off a trampoline, so you know how I get down, man. So first order of business for these birds, man. Jalen Hawkins was released this week. Now, we've talked about Richie Grant all day, and I've talked to you about this off the record, Smitty. I said, man, we got to get a better safety, and I think we might have found that in DeMarco Hellams, but it just sucks that we got rid of Hawkins, who was definitely a ball hawk in the secondary for the Falcons. So
right.
I'm going to let you start this one off, man. How do you feel about Jalen Hawkins getting cut and getting that pink slip today? I mean, not today, the other day.
I was one of his biggest supporters, man, in Atlanta, and I'm sure of that because I saw his athletic ability. I saw what he can do if put in the right situation. I think where it went wrong, and I think what the Falcons run, I just think it doesn't fit him, and it started to show over the last year and a half. Even though he started 16 games last year, had 2 interceptions, career high 84 tackles, he just still seemed out of place. I think he best fits in the cover 3 scheme. Because he's one of those safeties that can just roam the field and look for the football. But, safeties have to be able to play in the box. They have to be able to get out to the quarterback, which he has done too. But I just don't think he fit what Ryan Nielsen and Jerry Gray are trying to do. So good luck to him, man. But he did receive an injury today. So prayers up to him out there in Los Angeles with the Chargers. So he found footing. So hopefully he makes a full recovery and comes back and resumes his pro career.
And my guys on the set can tell you, I've been one of the ones that was clamoring for Jay Hawk over Richie Grant since he's been here. Been saying that since day one, and I've said it for the longest, man. It's just like being on the pool table, man. When you playing free safety or strong safety, you got to know how to take angles. And Richie Grant isn't good at that. I got to give Jay Hawk his credit when in the defense that we were running, he was able to take angles and he was able to pick up interceptions for this defense, and I thought he would have been a solid rotational piece, but like you said, they had other plans. So, K-Dub, what you got on this, baby?
I mean, I feel like he was really just based on the team, and that's why we had to make the move. I feel like Hellams is making that push to get a lot more time, so we had to clear space. I mean, I wish the best for him, but I feel like if he was supposed to start, he would have been on the field here. The backup what Smitty was saying, he had some great, decent numbers here, but I just feel like the selection of Hellams was able to free us up to make that move. But that's just my opinion on the situation. I hate to hear the news that he got hurt, just getting picked up out there in Los Angeles. But that's the name of the game in the NFL. It's not for long. So I wish him the best and continue to push for the Falcons to continue to make better moves and select better guys, because like a lot of these draft picks that we're bringing in don't normally stay with the team. So basically in the long run, they weren't quality picks for us. So that's what I'm concerned about.
Most definitely. And we're gonna wrap this thing up with Glenn. So what you got, man, Graybeard? How do you feel about Hawk being taken away from the Birds?
Kind of surprised, man. I thought he was doing pretty well with us, especially in the rotation, man. But like K-Dub said, man, the emergence of DeMarco Helms really, I guess, made it seem like he was expendable. I thought he would be a good fit, but, Coach Gray and Coach Nielsen probably seen something else. Man, I'm glad he got picked up from another team. I hate that he got hurt because, like I said, You see the potential in him, man. He can ball hawk, man. He can already go
Mhm.
around the football, man. Call it tackling and whatnot. So I hope him a speedy recovery, man, and good luck to the future.
And the
Can I
crazy part,
say something right quick?
what you got?
I think what was against them from the start was he was a leftover from the Dan Quinn era, and they were trying to move on from that by any means necessary. So I think the only guys that are left were Grady and Jake Matthews, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
it was stacked against them anyway.
Yeah,
Most
I
definitely.
like that point, Smitty. That I didn't think that in that nature, but yeah, that's a great idea. I'm thinking. Yeah.
Most definitely. So moving on to the next topic or whatnot, we got to move on to Sunday. It was a painful loss Sunday to watch how we executed the way that we did offensively, and the defense gave us chances to win the ball game. But new Sunday is in the camp. Last Sunday is in the camp. So with the win this Sunday, we could claim the top spot of the NFC South. And that would actually be huge because we've only played one division game this year so far. And for us to go undefeated within the division would definitely pay dividends because right now we're praying that the Aints lose tonight because they're playing Jacksonville. Even though Jax doesn't have Trevor Lawrence, we still know that they have a serviceable enough team to beat the Aints because the Aints really not that good to me this year. Real talk. They're never good because I don't like them, but specifically this year because their quarterback position is just up and down, just like the prices of gasoline.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So what you guys think about Sunday? Because we're going into Tampa on Sunday. We're going away, road game. Ritter has yet to win a road game yet. He's only won at
Definitely.
home. And here's the thing: if you put Ritter into a situation to where he's got to win on the road right now in the NFL, he's still trying to figure out how to just play at home and just have consistency. So you're going up against one of the top defenses in the league. And Baker Mayfield apparently has found his footing down in Tampa, and he fits like a hand in a glove. So, what do you think the keys are for Sunday? Because we're going to break this thing down for the Falcons to claim this. We're going to start off with the Birdz defense matching up with Tampa's offense. I got to let my guy K-Dub jump on this. Then I'm going to bring it to Smitty and right to Graybeard. So, what you got?
Well, the matchup between the Falcons and the Bucs, I mean, we kind of touched on it last night during our episode. Is the key to the thing is pressure, bringing a lot of pressure and getting Baker Mayfield off his spot and making him comfortable so he can debate him until like at least 2 to 3 turnovers. I feel like our defense is going to have to go out and score some points and help this offense along because we're struggling to matriculate points with our offense right now. Until they can continue to quit sleepwalking, we need our defense to substance. That's the strength of our team this year, and especially our secondary. I'm putting it on Bankhead Bates. I'm putting it on Okuda. I'm putting it on Braille to go up.
Hold up. Wait, hold up. Smitty, you laughing, but we gave him the nickname Bankhead Bates, dog. He's been thorough like the boys on the west side. You know what's happening.
Yeah, I grew up on that side of town, so I know.
Exactly. That's why I had to point it out because you and I talked about that, man, back in the day. I know. Shout out to my guy Smitty. My sister went to Dub back in the day, and I got family, so shout out to them boys and folk over there. Dub had them Astros. So, but getting back to my guy, go ahead, Kelly. You said Bankhead Bates.
Basically, that's what I'm trying to do. Is I understand all we got to put this up, but the strength of this team is defense. We need a defensive team to keep making plays, creating turnovers, and it'd be great to score points. If we got a scoring defense, it'll be even better for us. They can start to put up some points for us, like some pick sixes or a fumble recovery, return for a touchdown. Help us in the margin.
So what you got, Smitty, on this? Because we got a guy, John Higgins just came in. He said, you got to hit Baker Mayfield in the mouth. And anybody that's a Georgia Bulldog fan, we knew that when he was in college. He doesn't deal with pressure. So you can go back to that Rose Bowl where he played against that swarming defense in 2017 and set the foundation for that, as you see the poster in the back. The two-time national championship dogs, they set the foundation for that. He does not like physical teams, period. And
Facts,
that was why
facts.
that's why he didn't survive in Cleveland. So what do you think the key is getting Baker Mayfield off course, Smitty?
I'm gonna say this before I start. K Dub, he don't watch my show and I ain't even dropped it yet. He hit he hit the nail right on the head, man, right on the nail. That was one of my keys to victory was forcing turnovers, man. And Baker Mayfield, like you said, doesn't do well with pressure, so that's a key. And if you pressure him and force turnovers, I think that's going to be key. But you look at Baker Mayfield last week, only 206 yards and an interception. They got him off his spot. They did not give him time to throw. Thus, he looked pedestrian. If you look at their offense as a whole, man, passing the ball, they in the middle of the class at 212, and running the ball, they're awful. 26 in the league at 78 yards per game. So that tells me that they may be a little bit one-dimensional coming into this game. And if Atlanta can capitalize on those analytics and, like you said, bring the pressure, I think this is an easy W.
I love
Great,
that.
man. What you got?
Oh man, I agree with Smitty and I agree with K Dub, man. Defense to me is gonna have to be the focal point in this game. Especially getting like you said, Baker Mayfield does not like being physical. That means hit him. That means getting pressure around him as well. I mean, our linebacker got to be disciplined in this game as well, too, man. You watching out for the dump off, the screen, the wheel route, and whatever. Our secondary, I'm not too concerned about our secondary, even though Mike Evans is having a good season this year. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, he's having a pretty darn good season this year, and him and Baker Mayfield seem to have a little bit of connection along with Godwin, so we can't forget about that. So for me, man, I just think the defense need to get off on third down. We don't if it's third and long, we don't need to give up the first down or whatever, and we need to get the football back into our offense.
Well, I say this. I'm gonna add my twist to it because you guys had some valid points. The key for this defense right now, and everybody's trying AJ Terrell this year because I can tell you right now, ever since Jeff Okudah has found his second win and found a clean bill of health so far after that injury, they haven't been trying. They haven't been trying old Jeff Okudah. Okudah is a guy that I feel as if you're starting to see why he was a number one pick because he definitely has been shutting things down. So you have two former number one picks. You have two former number one picks playing at corner, and you have an old school coach with Jerry Gray. So for those who don't know, Jerry Gray was a former defensive back in the league. He also was a top draft pick, and he also was in the University of Texas Hall of Fame, first round pick, multiple time Pro Bowler. This man was literally a demon on the football field at that cornerback spot. A lot of people don't know much about that unless you watched him back in the 80s because he used to play for the Rams back in the old NFC West when we were rivals with the Rams and the 49ers, and that division was murderer's row back when we were in it. The difference was the Falcons and the Saints weren't winning anything in that division except 1980 or whatnot in 91. But let's be real. Jerry Gray was groomed in the physical era. Him and Leroy Irvin were AJ Terrell, and you talk about Jeff Okudah back in the day. So I flipped some history on them. I flipped some history on them for you, OG, because I know you remember back in the day when you talk about Jerry Gray and Leroy Irvin, two shutdown corners back in the day.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
So getting to it, I think this old school, getting back to the basics, as we say, back to basics, as Joe Gotti used to say. Let's just be real. This man is taking this secondary and literally went back to basic football. We're going to play man on man, which we didn't do a lot of last year because of the system that Pease was running was similar to what Dan Quinn was running, where it was a lot of zone. You're seeing more man on man play, more physical play, where you're seeing corners get their hands on these receivers, and then you're also seeing them come up and be able to knock folks out. They're not scared to hit. So Ryan Nielsen has a jewel of knowledge with that man being his assistant defensive coordinator. And a lot of folks don't realize this. Ryan Nielsen came up through Pete Carroll's system as a defensive lineman at USC and as an assistant coach when he first got in the league. So you're talking about a wealth of knowledge from two guys meshing that together and literally making a beautiful, I would say, like, we love to cook. So I would say he's making like a beautiful roux right now before you start adding in your okra, your sausage, your rice, your crab legs, everything else to make that good old gumbo.
I'm
So
already hungry.
Yeah. Okay.
and
For
so
real, for real.
and so I'm not gonna sit there and bore you with that one, but I'll just give you like this here. Defense still hasn't given up a rushing TD this year. And Tampa likes to run the football as well. So I think we match up well. And Smitty, I really feel like this defensive line now that Calais Campbell's bringing the leadership, you got Grady, and then you got David Ayumeta, who we pretty much getting in his prime. I really believe that those three can be the nucleus of starting something to when we draft another guy, because we don't know how long Calais is going to play still. We got to have
Right.
somebody that's going to come in, and we got to bring in an edge rusher. Hopefully we address
Right.
that during the trade deadline.
Agreed. One thing that I've seen in the last couple of weeks with that defensive line is when Calais Campbell lines up on the inside at nose tackle, they play much better. They collapse the pocket better. They stop the run, close up gaps. So that's something that they need to capitalize on going into this game. We talked about Rashard White, who only had 7 carries for 26 yards last week. This is a different week, different team. Even though we're good against the run, man, anything can happen any Sunday. So I think if those guys keep doing what they're doing up front, and let's give Bud Dupree his flowers, man. Why the last 3 to 4 games, man, he has looked like the Bud Dupree of old. And last week, a sack and a half, it just showed you what kind of talent he really has when he's healthy. So, like you said, with Ryan Nielsen and Jerry Gray, I said they were the best hires or additions, and that's including players. They were the 2 best additions this offseason, hands down. You talk about Jerry Gray, who with Buffalo had a top 3 defense 2 years in a row. So, so Nielsen and Gray were just a match made in heaven. And guess what?
Do you
And I'm
remember
not
who his defensive back? Do you remember who one of his top DBs were on that defense?
Nate Clemens.
Yep. I was getting ready to say Nate Clemens. And remember, he also had Pac-Man Jones when he was in Tennessee too. Shout out to Atlanta Zone. So when you talk about it, this man has had great talent and he knows how to coach.
And I think Jesse Bates was just the nail in the coffin, man, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
The best investment we've ever made in a long time.
Besides Mr. Gray, yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah,
and all I can say is the sad part about it is this is starting to look, and I hate to say it, but I'm not saying that the Grits Blitz defense. And by the way, check out the interview that we had on the perch. We had former Falcons linebacker Dewey McClain that was a part of that Grits Blitz defense on the show last night. We did a on the perch segment interview. We got tons of that. So for you newbies that's here, check us out. We got some interviews from some former athletes. But Dewey McClain talked about it yesterday. He also said it's similar to what he went through back in the 70s before Steve Barkowski actually got an offensive line. The defense was solid. They just couldn't put up points, and the defense kept them in games. So there's a similarity between that Grits Blitz defense. Not saying we're getting after the quarterback like they did, but we're causing turnovers and really giving our offenses chances to win, but we're not putting points on the board and capitalizing. So it's pretty much very similar to what he went through, and he talked about that last night. Now, we got a couple of cats on this staff on this panel right now. They got to live to see that Grits Blitz defense back in the day. And when you look at the similarities, what is it that might be a little different with that defense and this defense that we have right now, minus the sacks?
I just think it's just the way they coach today. You know, like I said, back in the day, the guys that play like through a lot of injuries and this, that, and the third. So it's more about the brand now. It's building their brand. So I still feel like it's more fast and physical now in today's NFL. And but I feel like back in the day it was just more rugged and more rigid. And that's just my opinion on it. But I feel like we can get it back there in today's society. We still have a top 10 defense. We just got to go out there and prove it the week in and week out.
Go ahead, Glenn.
No, go ahead.
The only thing I see that different is superstar power. That's it. Coaching is doing what they're supposed to do. And I agree with the offense. I think that Falcon offense in 77 only averaged like 11 points a game. They didn't even know how to cross the street. But as I look at it, man, going forward, man, with what they're doing on defense, I think they have a chance to be a top 5 defense by season's end, and that's saying a lot.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Now, one of the persons that everybody talked about on this defense, when you talk about as a pass rusher that we wanted to see, was Arnold Ebiketie. I've been saying it for the longest. Buddy can't push a biscuit off the plate. He had a play in the game earlier this week, but I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. He still don't impress me. It's like, yo, at Penn State, you was lights out. You've had a couple of years you had last year and then you have this year getting acclimated to the system. You still are struggling with being able to swim move. You're struggling to be able to get your hands up. And I honestly think if we're going to go get a pass rusher, everybody's talking about Nell Hunter. I think you go see what Carolina's talking about with Brian Burns. That is a guy that you have to explore. That is just my opinion. Me and my guy Scoop, we've talked about this before because Scoop mentioned this the other day, and we both said Brian Burns brings a presence, not just from a division rival standpoint, but we know what the kid can do coming off that edge with a bad attitude.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I definitely give up that first round pick for him. I'm gonna be real because if we finish 15 or later, you already out of the top when it's come to going to get pass rushers. And Carolina is in no position to turn down any trade. So if they can get a first round pick from Atlanta, whether it's in the division or not, you got to go get him, man. You got to at the trade deadline. Don't forget, they still freeing up cap space, so just keep an eye on it.
And the money, and we just freed up money with letting Hawkins go. So you're talking about more money that's added to that. So we don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to get a role player or if they're actually going to get somebody, that's worth 2 dead fly smash. That's the question.
And I'm gonna be real with you too. I think Cordero Patterson on the way out too.
Yeah.
That's gonna be giving him more money.
I've been on that train.
Oh yeah. He's been on it for a while.
K-Dub's been saying this since the beginning of the season when they drafted Bijan. The first thing he said was they getting ready to ship him out and they're gonna try to get something for him.
Yeah, I can see it.
I got a team that I think Cordero Patterson would probably go to, and I think he would fit what they do. I can see them trying to probably slide him to Jacksonville and they try to get something up out of Jax. That's a team that I feel like he can help out offensively.
I can see that. But I go even further as saying the Rams. And the reason why I say the Rams, they don't have a big running back. He could go out there, be the big back, maybe the third down back, do the kick return, punt return thing. But the Rams need help on special teams, so I think the Rams will probably be a better spot.
I was gonna pay Kansas City. The reason why they really ain't got a running back. They ain't had a running back. They haven't had a running back in cool.
They ain't really had a running back since Hunt.
Correct.
But you got Isaiah Pacheco right now that's carrying the load for him.
Yeah, so I look at
but go ahead. He's small.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's small. If you add a Cordell Patterson with him, you might have something.
Yeah.
Now,
those are some good abilities now.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing that I was thinking about when you said with Patterson. We could get some good value for Cordell Patterson. And the other question is, do you think they trade him somewhere where there might be a pass rusher that might be for cheap, just like Cordell's going to be? Do you think they're going to go somewhere and go get somebody that might be coming up on papers or what?
That's a great question, man. The only team I can think of is New England. New England is rebuilding. They could add a veteran at running back, playmaker, while they have a guy, Josh Uche, who had 11 and a half sacks last year, coming up for a contract year. And I don't think he'll be as high as a Daniel Hunter when it comes to free agency. So that is definitely a move I would think about. Now you throw in a third or fourth round pick with that. The trade gets done easily.
Of course. That would be, like you said, that's nothing but, hey, let's go ahead and make this phone call transaction. And, hey, it's just like transferring money into a bank account. That's all it is. So, but getting to it though, fellas. Can the Falcons offense, we're gonna switch over into the Falcons offense or whatnot. Can the Falcons offense rebound from a poor performance that they had last Sunday? Because the running game was MIA. You had a couple of breakout plays. The running game was MIA. You had Ritter throwing 3 picks last week. You had passes that were dropped that should have been caught. And, you know, you moved the ball down with no problem, but you shot yourself in the foot. And we're going to get into the penalties and everything else because that's another topic. But do you think these guys can rebound this Sunday and actually have some redemption and not embarrass themselves down in Tampa, Florida?
They ain't got no choice.
I think they can rebound. The week prior, he felt like he just so up and down that that he always have a chance to go in and have a great outing. But he does scare me because it's on the road, because he has a tough time on the road. But I want to be positive instead of being negative. So I want to say that they can get things corrected and continue to not shoot themselves in the foot, not have him throw the football so much. I mean, cut down those. I think he threw the ball 40-something times. He need to be throwing it like maybe 20-something times and get back to which is running football, and start off by running the football with Tyler out here to wear that defense down. Then you bring in Bijan, the BR7 experience, and then you got to start breaking ankles after they've worn that defensive front down. But that's my opinion. That's the way to attack those guys. Keep Ritter from basically screwing himself up and having the running game help him out and the defense help him out, and then have him only throw the ball 20 to 25 times throughout the game and go out of that. You got a great kicker and Koo, and he'll back you up with the kicking.
Well, Koo's starting to get his rhythm back now. Finally, thank God.
Thank God. But K-Dub, man, I'm gonna have to block you, man, because you done told my whole show already.
Hey, well, they say great minds think alike, homie.
I'm gonna add on what K-Dub said, man. I said that in my 3 key to victory as well, and the last key, and y'all will see it. They got to push the ball downfield, man. You got to. If you're gonna run the ball successfully and they open up the pass game, you got to push it downfield, take deep shots. You saw with Van Jefferson last week. After that, we only took 2 deep shots after that. So keep pushing the ball down the field, because this dink and dunk 5 and 10 yard thing is going to get old, and that makes you one dimensional. That's just like running the ball while passing. So if they can stretch the field and attack those defensive backs, which I think is Tampa's weakness, is those defensive backs, because they lost a lot this offseason in their defensive backfield. They still have Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jamel Dean, but those other corners, man, Carlton Davis, I still don't trust that dude to hold a pack of cigarettes.
Ken Brown was cooking him last week.
Right, exactly. So you use Drake London, you use Kyle Pitts, attack downfield, man, best you can, and I think that's a major key to victory if they can push Desmond Ritter through the playbook a little bit easier by attacking downfield.
But here's the thing that we gotta. Here's the thing that we gotta get. You brought Dave Ragone in to be offensive coordinator. Now he already destroyed. He already destroyed Chicago's offense. He destroyed Mitch Trubisky. I'm just calling a spade because remember, Chicago had one of the best defenses when he was the head coach at that time. Roquan Smith. You had Eddie Jackson and those guys shutting it down, getting them to the playoffs, but they couldn't.
Mack.
Now, and Khalil Mack. Here's my question: why in the heck would you bring in a guy like this here that's pretty much a yes man? He is a yes man. You bring a yes man in that's not going to challenge the establishment. I've already said the guy that should have been brought in as offensive coordinator should have grabbed Eric Bieniemy. That's who you should have grabbed first. But I think and here's the thing. I said we could have brought him in as an OC. I mean, as an OC. But more than likely, I said we should have brought him in as a head coach. Everybody said, "Oh well, he didn't interview well." Here's my thing: you want to win ball games, or you trying to have a company man that's gonna kiss people's behind? Everybody's sick of losing. We tired of all these losses. We need somebody that's gonna come in, that's gonna put foots between somebody's hip pockets when they step out of line, and just pretty much tighten them up like a pimp on the stroll. That's just how I need to go.
I mean,
I'm just keeping it a buck with you. We got all these Bible thumpers, and I call them Bible thumper boys that we bringing in here. Bring somebody in here with a little bit of an edge, man. Stop bringing these church boys into Atlanta. You already got Sodom and Gomorrah with Magic City and you got all this other stuff that around the city, why not bring in jokers that fit the culture that we have in Atlanta? That's just my opinion on
You
that.
got you got to have them animals on your team, man. You got to. If you don't have those animals, you got to have that one crazy person on the defense that's just gonna go all out. Yeah, probably two. But as you said, the Falcons shot themselves in the foot with that, man, because you hired a head coach before you hired the GM. That's just backwards. And as I've been thinking, man, I think if Terry Fontenot is hired first, Eric Bieniemy is likely to coach because of what they're trying to do. It fits what they're trying to do. You seen it last week. Put it like this. You seen it last week. Sam Howell has been in the league the same amount of time as Desmond Ritter, but
looks better.
Eric Bieniemy is putting Sam Howell in a position to win by simplifying the playbook enough for him to make plays. And
I like
Tony,
all right.
Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I was just throwing out there. CJ Stroud. You go ahead, team.
I got another one for you. Now we talked about old school coaches with Jerry Gray. Let's talk about it. Eric Bieniemy played in the league at the time that Jerry Gray was playing. So you talking about this old school. You know, a lot of people talk about Colorado being an emergence for Coach Prime. Now let's talk about it. Eric Bieniemy was there when them boys was winning national championships. He was a part of that. And they had cats that had an edge to them up under Coach Mack back in the day. So a lot of that transferred over into the league with him and Deion Figures and a lot of them cats that came out of that school. Cordell Stewart and so many others that came afterwards. So when you talk about
Westbrook.
Michael Westbrook, can't forget about him. And you talk about old school, let's be real. When are we going to start bringing in guys that are going to teach these young pups that's coming into the league right now? Hey, man, you can't be soft here. We don't do divas here in Atlanta. This getting ready to be a place where you either get down or you lay down, man. You know what I'm saying? You either get right or you get left.
Let's be honest, though. I don't think they want that type of coach because they had it in Brian Cox on that championship team in 2016.
Agreed.
Exactly.
He was just 1 year. And when he got out of line, what happened? He was gone. So they may not want that type of attitude, but absolutely they need it. And Rich McKay knows this. He had those same type of dogs in Tampa Bay when he was in Tampa Bay. Derrick Brooks, John Lynch, Warren Sapp. He had those type of players, Rondé Barber. So he knows.
I mean, yeah, he definitely knows. Because for me, when we talk about the offense or whatnot, Arthur Smith got to see what he did against Green Bay and how he called it, because it was told that probably his best call game this season, hands down. The way Desmond Ritter was comfortable, the way he was moving the football around, the way the pocket was moving or whatever, it was like the running game was going. We were just fluid and we were just going up and down the field or whatnot. And I'm just trying to figure out why did he stop? I mean, I understand that we just got Bijan Robinson. I understand you want to use the new toy or whatnot, but you still got 1,000-yard rushing in freaking Algier. He got to get in the rhythm as well, just like Desmond Ritter had to get in rhythm as well. So for me, man, Arthur Smith got to swallow his pride. Somebody got to call plays. Besides him. That's all I'm saying.
That's what happened when you get a spoiled child on the sideline. I've been saying this for years. Since he's been here. I've been saying this since day one. Arthur Smith is a product of being a spoiled brat. And you see how he frowns and you see how he sucks when the media calls him out on something. But as soon as the Falcons do something good, it's like, yeah, I got my finger in your face. Yeah, how you like me now? It's like, dog, win games consistently. Stop shooting yourself in the foot. Get off your high horse,
right,
and bring somebody in that's going to challenge you as a head coach to make you better. That's what you need. Because it's a shame that he was groomed under the legendary Joe Gibbs. I say this every week. You start off with one of the greatest offensive minds of all time. And let's be real. Everywhere Joe Gibbs went, his offenses were lethal. You go back to when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals back in the day with O.J. Anderson and those guys killing it. Eric Metcalf's daddy, Terry Metcalf. You go to when he was with the San Diego Chargers, when he had a unicorn tight end and Kellen Winslow. You had Charlie Joyner, you had Wes Chandler there, and you had Dan Fouts, who was a gunslinger. And let's talk about it. Let's get to Washington. You had 4 different quarterbacks that helped you get to 3 Super Bowl championships. Doug Williams and Jay Schrader split time. That's why I said 4. But Mark Rippon, let's be real. Mark Rippon is Desmond Ridder. That's really what it is. But Rippon can actually throw the ball. That's different.
Good comparison.
And let's just be real. You come from a system that was run heavy as well as a balanced passing attack. You learned nothing from that man while you was up under him. Right now, you need to be calling him, asking him, hey, what can I do to offset a defense? How can I call these plays? Because your team is built like those Redskins of the 80s. Let's be real. It's built exactly like bully ball.
He's just trying to get too cute.
Exactly.
And his ego, man, his ego gonna kill him. Let's just be real. That's what it is. I'm gonna do things my way, and that's that. And one thing that I seen the other day on the sideline when Desmond Ridder went back at him, that lets me know Desmond Ridder is tired, and he's gonna keep fighting until he helps turn this thing around. And that was a positive sign from the quarterback. Sometimes you got to, fight back when you know something that's not right. Because y'all seen it, man. Timeout.
Oh,
still get a delay of game penalty.
Exactly.
Who does that? In my 44 years, I have never seen that, not once in my life.
Dan Quinn did it. My Dan Quinn had done it. Yeah.
Dan Quinn might be a little retarded on the left side of the brain.
Done it.
I'm just saying, dog. He might be a little on the slow side, man. His brain moving about as fast as smoke coming off a turd, dog. That's just how it goes.
Man.
That just didn't break up. What is that?
Oh man, no, he did.
I'm just calling it what it is.
But Arthur Smith, time management had to be some of the worst I've ever seen. It just doesn't make any sense to be in the NFL, to be under Joe Gibbs' system, and you still don't know how to clock management. I mean, come on now.
He didn't put a lot of talent behind himself either, because you got T.J. Jakes as the wide receiver coach. He's a former quarterback.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just twisted, man. So, until you straighten those things out, and to be honest, I said this, man, the Falcons have built for the future. They have built way past Arthur Smith. If another coach comes in tomorrow, implement a system with these tight weapons, they can instantly adjust and pick it up and get it rolling right off the bat. And one guy that I would love to see, to be honest, Cliff Kingsbury. He is a guy that I would love to see. Because go ahead.
No, do you think you can bring him in here? Because he's enjoying his life out there at USC with Lincoln Riley right now.
Yeah.
Money talks, you know that. Money talks.
True. True.
Hey, if they can pay the man, bring him in. Because you talk about the air raid offense, you seen in the Kyler Murray in Arizona. Desmond Ridder is taller. Desmond Ridder is just as athletic with his legs. And he's to me, he has a better mind up there to win games. So you bring in a Cliff Kingsbury, I could see that. And think about it. We talk about you don't run well in that offense. With a guy like Bijan Robinson, man, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still, like you said, got pretty much baby William Andrews with Tyler Algier. Guy just falls forward when you hit him. He doesn't go down easy. You're not gonna arm tackle him. And that's a guy that gets stronger as the game goes on. He's that type of guy. He's got to have at least 10, 15 carries before he's in that groove.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, that's a great assessment of bringing in Cliff Kingsbury, because that's the mode I'm saying.
So here's the question I got for you: if Desmond Ridder underperforms on Sunday, and he's still going through his growing pains right now, do you go ahead and bench him and put Taylor Heineke in or Logan Woodside?
No. No, because no matter who playing quarterback, same person still call the plays. So what's going to change?
Oh, I like that. I like that caveat. I don't know. I want to say yes, but like you said, you brought up a great point. The play caller, the scheme. If you put Heineke in there, who's a seasoned vet, and he's throwing picks and whatnot, then you put in what? Well, you think Woodside gonna do any better? Even though Woodside knows this offense and have played in this offense before, I don't know. I don't know.
I just feel like we need a spark, and I could be totally wrong, but I just like Woodside in the preseason. What I've seen recently from Heineke, he didn't look that great to me in the preseason. I'm not saying he didn't look good in Washington with the Commanders, but I'm saying, what have you done for me lately in the preseason? You kind of snuck it up. I would rather see Woodside if we do have to lean on bringing somebody in to see if we can bring a spark. But I do agree with Smitty. If he's still calling the same bogus plays, it's not going to help us in the long run. But I feel like these guys have a little bit more experience in this league, and they can actually take the play and actually, basically complete the play a little bit better and basically run the play a little bit better because they're not going through rookie jitters. And they're on the bench and watch.
I think the thing for Ritter, man, he got to stop trying to make the perfect pass and just make the good pass. For me, I think he be overthinking a lot. Like the second interception that he threw, he didn't even try to look off that corner. The corner read his eye the entire time and pretty much had appreciated for an INT. So
I think Ritter has forgotten that he got legs and that he can run. I know he's not trying to get hurt, but here's the thing: when you're close into the red zone, you run a 4-4, bro. You got some speed and you got some wheels to get away. You showed that in your few touchdown runs that you've had. You've got to be in a situation to where, how can I say it? You use your God-given ability. Sometimes it's not going to be in the playbook. Sometimes you got to improvise. You have to improvise sometimes.
And that's
you got to
what
start using your legs. You got to start taking the game in your hands and playing to your strengths. And Arthur Smith, since he wants to, like we said, he's not going to give up the play calling, so we're going to call this for what it is. Start moving the pocket, because if you notice when you move the pocket, Ritter is accurate. You don't have him standing there like a sitting duck. You let him keep a defense honest. You keep them guessing. Ritter's in the flow of a game if you actually move the pocket or put him in positions to where he doesn't have to sit and think. Ritter's a reaction type of quarterback. He's a timing type of quarterback. Don't make him overthink stuff. Young guy, and I think he'll get that part of the game down. But right now, use his ability that he can dissect the defense by just keeping people on the move. Because if you notice when he's in a 2-minute offense, he's smooth as silk.
Yeah, and then
that's true.
Drives. I mean, like, how you go out and script the first drive and it went like boom, boom, boom. Have like 4 or 5 scripts, Arthur Smith, because that will keep you from overthinking and calculating what you want to call and getting all combobulated in your head, looking like a crazy old man over there on the sideline with that damn mustache. Come out with a better game plan.
Man, let's be real. He looked like an old 80s porn star with that mustache, bro.
He looked like a dejected. He looked like a dejected Mario, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
I'm not even gonna disrespect Magnum P.I. like that, man.
Not Tom Kelly. No, man, you can't do him like that.
Magnum P.I. was good dude back in the day, bro.
Ryan Nelson looked pretty good.
But one way he can turn it around, though, man. One way he can turn it around, you got to build that trust factor between quarterback and coach.
Agreed.
If C.J. Stroud is in Houston using an arm play band on his arm and Desmond Ritter don't have one, he's been here 2 years, that's a big problem. That shows what the real problem is trust. If they can't trust each other, how can they lead a team?
Agreed. And the thing is, like you're saying with the trust aspect of it, let's be real. Look at the fact that Sam Howell just went in jumping off the diving board with Eric Bieniemy right off the bat. I'm just using this as an example because the man is proven he had Alex Smith first, and then he got Patrick Mahomes because they got to the AFC Championship game with Alex Smith. They lost, but when he got a young Patrick Mahomes, he literally just pretty much, hey, I'm gonna put the playbook in your hands. I'm gonna use your athletic ability, but I'm gonna coach you hard and put you in the spot to where you can be successful. I'm gonna use your strengths, and while you're learning the game, I'm gonna let your talent that you already have win ball games for us. But that's my job to scheme up plays and put you in the position to make these plays happen for this offense. So everybody that said, oh, Andy Reid was calling all those plays, okay, I give you this. You got one of Andy Reid's disciples down in Jacksonville that won a Super Bowl in Philly that was calling plays. You got another one that's up here in Philly that's got those boys 5-1 and took them to a Super Bowl. And now you have Eric Bieniemy with a Washington team that's still figuring it out. No, the record doesn't show, but if you look at how they're humming and they're not even all in sync yet, they're dangerous. So once they figure it out, that offense is going to be lethal in the NFC East and also in the NFC.
And
But
they putting up more points than freaking Kansas City right now.
exactly. So, we'll see how that goes. We got to ride it out with him. So, will the run game show up on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen?
It had to.
That's an honest assessment. Will the run game show up?
But I just feel like it's like we're going back to play. I feel like we're calling plays that are behind the line of scrimmage. We need to call plays to go in south instead of east and west. I just feel like we're trying to get Bijan and those guys involved. You got to call plays and pass. Run plays is going to go forward instead of to the side and to the left because this league is too fast. Even though we got fast and explosive running backs, these guys are trying to take Bijan's head off, man. They don't want they don't want to get there. So they're hitting them very hard. That's why you go out there and put your sledge. Like I'm gonna go back to Tyler Algier. You gonna tackle him for a while, then Bijan to come break your ankles. But I feel like the run game can get going. It's all about the way you call the plays and with formations you come out and disguise the plays the way you're calling them. But we got to go all the way back to the play calling like we just said in the last second.
Well, here's the dangerous thing when you talk about this Falcons offense and you're talking about it. Let's be real, like you said. Get Tyler Algier running because here's the thing. When you run, for those who don't know what a counter play is, pretty much a run play in between the tackles. You're running it back to the opposite side. You run that counter play with Bijan's cutting ability and his speed and how he hits the hole. This is after Tyler Algier has worn down that defense. Bijan is going to break along. But Arthur Smith hadn't been smart enough to figure that out because if you ever look at it, Bijan is that close from breaking that counter play that they run when they cut it back after Algier wears them down. You got to play bully ball and then put your speed in at the end when their tongues are hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
See, they catch a Bijan. He may get like 12, 13 yards on their catch because you run that same play in the third quarter after they've worn down hands on hips. Oh boy, it's gonna be 60, 70 today.
But now what's going on, Tramel? And he thinks culture. He's been very active in the comment section. I'll say this. Yeah, we had a bad game, but here's the thing. Regardless if we had a bad game or not, the end result was the Falcons took an L at the end of the day, fam. No matter what excuses might be said, whatever happens, we did not execute. So regardless if it was a bad game or not, Washington executed. They beat us, and it is what it is. Bad game or not, we got an L out of that one. So it is what it is. But he's been very I like this cat. He's been very active in the chat, and a lot of the stuff that he has said has been valid. But in this situation, I don't normally disagree with folks like that. But I got to say, hey, that's just one I got to disagree with you on. But
we got a question from Foot on YouTube. He's saying, Ryan, what do you know about the 80s porn star, sir?
I was born in 87, and you got some older cousins who still had some stuff back in the day. but here's the thing. Outside of here's the thing, Travell. You say you know that or whatever, but you posted that, so hey, it didn't seem like you didn't. So it is what it is, family. But back to what we were talking about. Now, getting back to it. The Birds got to eliminate these penalties and these turnovers for this game for this week because we can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot with delayed game calls. You can't keep shooting yourself in the foot with false starts and different things of that sort. And the bad part about it was all this stuff was done at home. You did this at home. So imagine going onto the road in a hostile environment because, it's a rivalry game. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You got to give yourself a chance to actually win a ball game, and you committing dumb penalties is gonna hurt you. So I gotta let Graybeard start with this one. Then it's gonna go to Smitty, and then it's gonna go to K-Dub. What you got?
Well, for starters, man, I hope they really coach the freaking Kenner Dolman not to hold so much. That'll be a plus. But for us though, really, we really got to win a turnover battle. We got to be on the plus side of turnovers, man. We can't be just giving out free handout for whatever on the offensive side of the ball. And penalties, man, it just come down to mental issues, man. We gotta stay disciplined, man. We really gotta stay disciplined, especially on the offensive line. Jake Matthews been getting a couple of holes, and even Lindstrom been slacking off lately. So we just really need to get back to the basic and get back to playing physical discipline football, especially up front.
And just how you force turnovers, you got to play like you did last week. You
Mm-hmm.
got to scheme, be disciplined on defense, scheme and be disciplined on offense. I think talking about turnovers, the way you do that, get out the Baker Mayfield like you do any other quarterback, make them get off their sweet spot and bring that pressure and force them to make those bad throws because we know Jesse Bates, he can bait a fish on the hook. But as I look at it, going into this game, turnovers will be key. But one thing that the Falcons are doing very good this year that nobody talks about, they only have a 31% third down rate. That's by far top 5 in the NFL. And we talked about that all offseason. Get off the field on third down. They've done that. So, yeah, just be consistent, man. Keep that pass rush going. Build on that 5-sack game from last week. And I think, it'd be close to a W.
Agreed.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what both of these guys, Gray Beard and Smitty, was saying, we just basically like turnovers. That's the key. That's the motto of this game this week is turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. I don't care if it's stripping the ball, punching the ball out on defense when guys are getting running and they think they got something going, they holding out like a loaf of bread. You go rip that loaf of bread out their hand. You go get that. So you'll continue to just make turnovers, man. I mean, strip sack fumbles. Go in there. When Baker Mayfield got that cannon back, you knock that ball out. I mean, we got to have ways to get the ball back to the offense. Continue to have great possessions for our offense. Continue because our offense is not one of those offenses that just continue to put up points. So we got to give them every opportunity, more opportunity they would normally get, and to keep the ball out of Tampa Bay's hand and keep Baker Mayfield sitting on the bench and continue to try to get any kind of points. And this time, don't be going for it unless or past the 40-yard line.
Thank you.
We're going to go for it on fourth down, Mr. Arthur Smith.
Thank you.
The analytics is the reason why he did it. But here's the thing. Everybody goes off of analytics, and I'm going to use a different sport. If you're a Braves fan on here, yeah, we hurting right now because of what happened. But if you ever look at it, Ron Washington was a guy, he's old school, but he's actually willing to look at analytics, but he took those same individuals that was in the front office because they talked about what he did. He said, y'all come down here on the field. So those analytics were accurate number-wise, but it did not match up to what was happening on the field. So he pretty much gave them a field trip so they can actually say, okay, we have to look at it from a standpoint of we got to be able to think for ourselves in situations opposed to let, analysts or computers think for us. Because here's the thing. Before we started really getting heavy into analytics, you saw a lot of coaches that really had common sense. And now you don't see many coaches that have common sense that could think for themselves. And really, I'll just say this. I really believe most people that do analytics or whatnot, man, that's an easy job for a computer nerd who ain't never played the game. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm a bit of a caveman and I eat raw meat. I'm fine with it. But at the same time, you got to really use common knowledge when it comes to the game. It's about inches and angles, period. Whether it's offense or whether it's defense. You move too fast, you screw yourself. You move too slow, you're going to get stopped. So in this situation, defensively, we've got to continue to put pressure on Baker Mayfield. If we can't put pressure on him, at least get in those throwing lanes, make him uncomfortable. Stop the run. Don't let these guys eat because Mike Evans, go route, dig route, slant route. That's his thing. Or not route. Those are his things. You've got to be able to put a Jeff Okudah on him all day. And then you still got Chris Godwin. The other guy that they still have, and I didn't think about it too much, was our guy that left us and went over there. That was the other cat that I was thinking about.
He's still over
Russell
there.
Gage.
Yeah, he is. Wow.
Yeah, Russell Gage.
I think he's out for the year though.
I think he did get hurt. That's my mistake. But I'm just saying, Russell Gage knows our offense, so you already know that Smith's offense is basic. He definitely could give them some looks on the verbal side of things. But I really believe that when you look at this Tampa Bay offense and their defense or whatnot, Scotty Miller just came from over there. So we might be able to use what he knows against them, and it helps us out with their defense that's been stingy this year because he saw it every day.
Can we
Right.
use Scotty Miller in the game too, please?
Please.
Get him, please.
That's another guy. They have so many guys that can create mismatches in space. It's ridiculous. But he don't know how to give him the football, so it don't matter. Oof. Can the defense play better this week? Yeah.
And
I
here's
think
the
they
other
can.
thing.
Go ahead,
Special
go ahead.
teams have got to be a factor in this game. You
No
can't give
doubt.
up big plays to give up momentum in this game like you did at home. When you had the lead, you had the crowd into it, and you gave up a big return to that guy Crowder. You cannot give up momentum when you have it. Period.
Uh-huh. Special
Right.
teams, man.
It's very hard to get back.
Yo, we gotta have a fast start. We can't be playing from behind.
Exactly.
Get up,
Mhm.
push forward, and go get this win, man. We gotta go take the division. You can't go out there thinking he's gonna give it to you.
We got up to a fast start last week, but it seemed like after that we just started calling play like we playing Tecmo ball.
Concur
It
with that.
just went sideways quick.
Yeah, that first drive was scripted. Like I'm saying, we need to continue. You need to write a few scripts, and then you just
Right.
go to the page, and then go to the next page. You don't need to be thinking. You
And
just
my
need.
thing is the way he calls plays, man. He could just simplify it easy as if I get the run game going, then after I get the run game going, switch it to a 2-minute offense.
Yeah.
If that's working. So and to be honest, that really didn't work for parts of the game because they could have got a field goal before halftime. All they needed was 15 yards. You couldn't
Exactly.
dial up 2 plays to get 15 yards. Come on, man.
And that probably would have changed the whole complexity of the game.
It
He
would
would have
have
got them three.
Yeah,
He would have got them 3 points. I agree with
it
that.
would have.
Definitely
It would
agree.
have.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, I definitely agree with you on that. But here's my thing: we've got to get guys in there with special teams because we've given up. Like I said, we gave up the big play against Washington, but we've also given up some big returns this year so far. Thank God nobody's broken one all the way on us yet. But we have to be in a situation where sure tackling has to be, the basic fundamentals of tackling got to be applied because you see more than enough guys just using the shoulder or forearm, really just trying to get the big hit. You got guys not even making sure tackles because it's not just with us, it's around the NFL, period. The basic fundamentals of tackling are dead pretty much.
Yeah,
Unless you got old school coaches like a Jerry Gray and you got a Ryan Nielsen that's telling you that we're going to implement these type of plays. Like Caden
That's
Ellis,
true.
Caden Ellis, his daddy taught him well. Taught him well. And then you got Nate Landau. Hey, both of them dudes are tackling machines, period. They thump.
And that was
wrap up.
Nate Landman was our Elbert Shelley on special teams. But now
Yes,
that
he
he's
was.
starting and getting more reps on the defense, they're having to use other guys and it's not working. The guy we just cut, he was beginning to be a key contributor on special teams. You talk about
Hawkins.
Frank Darby, who was a gunner when he got cut. He was a decent special team player. He played 54% of the snaps 2 years
Yes,
ago.
he did. I'm laughing because it's funny because here's the thing. His value is on special teams. Definitely ain't on offense right now. Period.
Nope.
Right.
But everybody kind of value. That's why they brought him back.
Yep.
But here's my thing: we need to be aggressive on our special teams as well. We got to find a way to get the turn to try to flip field when we're receiving the ball, man. I don't care if it's Cordell. I don't care if it's D. Alfred, who is our outstanding nickelback, who really getting into it. Going, we got to find a way to move the ball up the field because we're not averaging that much and whatnot. We probably get 15, 18 yards or freaking or fair catch. That's all we getting.
So I got to bring this up because we're going to wrap this thing up pretty soon. Last topic we have for tonight. When does the hot seat turn into a furnace for Arthur Smith? Is it if we don't get a division title this year, or is it if we don't get to the playoffs and make a run this year? Because right now the NFC South is literally down right now, and you have one of the most talented rosters. And last year you could have won the division and got into a wild card game, but your stubbornness pretty much cost us that. Now you're in the same situation right now where this division is down. We have talent. You got 3 of your picks that you wanted in the number one, Pitts, London, and Bijan. Now you're riding with Ritter. Here's the question: Are you gonna jump off? Are you gonna jump off the ship with this kid, or are you gonna let him grow? Because your job really is starting. Your job is getting ready to be on the line if you don't produce anything this year, bro. How do you feel? And I'm gonna let Smitty start this one off. Do you feel like that hot seat need to go ahead and start turning into a furnace now?
Man, that seat already hotter than a skillet cooking a Philly cheesesteak. His seat got hot. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. His seat got hot when he did not have a quarterback competition. Because if you name a second-year starting quarterback right off the bat and pay a backup $10 million, that tells the owner and the GM that you're gonna ride or die with this guy. So as I look at it with going forward, is his seat hot? His seat's been hot. If we ever lose a record by the bye week, I think he's gone. Because Jerry Gray has assistant head coach on his name for a reason. Mm-hmm. So his leash is about as short. His leash is just about as short as walking a Chihuahua up the street. That's how short it is.
Good point. Good point.
But we iterated this, previous episodes and shows that if he doesn't continue to make the playoffs, he's going to get fired. But I do like what you're saying, Smitty, that by the bye week, I like it like that because we talked about Jerry Gray stepping in and becoming they're putting on that head coach title and just moving, and keeping on Nielsen as that D coordinator because he has proven what he needs to do because he's turned that D what Dean Pease had it last year. So he's proven his worth and his mettle. So you keep him on as your D coordinator and just move on with Jerry Gray as your head coach. But I do like that assessment that you made. But moving on from him at the break. Hey, look, we'll take it.
The only problem I would have is would we really have someone to call plays? Like I said with Dave Ragone, he just orders DoorDash. So if Arthur Smith goes, I think Dave Ragone got to go too. It's just that simple. You got to kill two birds with one stone. You got to. Agreed. Even if you go out and find an offensive coordinator in college, I think can call better plays than those two.
But that's what I think we need to do. We got to bring in a breath of fresh air, something offense that the NFL hasn't seen before. After I touched on it in previous episodes. That we need to bring in an offense that, like I said, that's a shock to them that, okay, we got to catch up because once the NFL catches up, then, you got to figure out something else. But it's kind of like all out when the Wildcat first came in. You got to bring something that's new, fresh, and intriguing to the league and then have these defenses catch up and burn them out a little bit.
Right. I mean, I agree, man. If Austin Smith goes, Dave Ragone got to be right behind him with his bag. Because first of all, he should have got fired. He should have got fired when he hired him.
I'm gonna go old school for you with this one because Terrence Mathis came on the show. We talked about it, and I had him kind of cracking up off the camera. But I said this here: Arthur Smith's job need to be as hot as a VCR used to be in Techwood Homes in the Trap. Let's just be honest with a room full of junkies. Man, let's just be real. That's how hot it need to be right about now.
Or Nintendo after you play it 4 or 5 hours.
I'm just keeping it 100.
There you go.
I'm just keeping it 100. It need to be as hot as a junkie trying to steal a VCR trying to get that fixed. Let's just keep that real. That's how hot it need to be right now on Arthur Smith. And as I said before, we live in Bible Belt country. Everybody come onto the platforms like this and they talk. But here's the thing. Like I said, being from Atlanta, I moved to Philly. Military got me up here in Philly. I'm gonna tell you one thing I say about these people up here, and that's about all their sports. If you are bad, they're going to let you know. They're not going to wait to let you know. They're going to tell you right on the spot. They will boo you right there on the spot if you're having a bad game. And they're going to let you know about it. They're going if they see you in the streets, they're going to talk to you about it. And that's how these people are here. And it's mainly the Northeastern culture. The reason I respect the sports fans that are in the Northeast is because they just flat out nasty with it. They're all they are SEC fans in professional sports. That's really what they are.
But you know what I like about it though? They hold their teams accountable. They hold their teams accountable. That's a good thing because. And here's the thing: when are the real fans gonna hold the Falcons accountable? Because everybody talking all this mess on these podcasts and stuff. When are y'all gonna start? Besides calling into these radio shows
And they can't sit there and turn down everybody's call when you're sitting there saying, hey man, his ass need to go. This is just bad.
Fact.
Like this dude literally made burnt buzzard meat smell like a filet mignon steak coming off the grill.
Oh man.
I'm just saying, this is just what it's got to be.
Ooh, boy, you right, you boy.
I'm just saying, I'm tired of, and here's the thing, I'm challenging my fellow Falcon fans because I'm one of them nasty Falcon fans. I'm gonna talk trash. I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm not coddling nobody just because I like them. Kyle Pitts finally starting to get out of the doghouse with me. I'm gonna say that straight up. And I literally been rough on him. All I'm saying is we gotta start holding this organization accountable. Period. And it starts from the top. You know, Arthur Blank got all these organizations and stuff. Okay, here's the thing. When you see him out in the streets, you tell him what's messed up. I'm just saying. I know people aren't gonna like it, but let's just be real. You see these guys hanging around the city at functions, at parties and stuff. But at the same time, we're not these type of fans that's gonna run up on you and we gonna talk to you about what we don't like and we spend money on the product.
Right.
That's a problem.
But Philly.
But what did I just say earlier? What did I just say earlier about Rich McKay? He know how to win a championship. He know what it takes. I've been holding him accountable for the last 5 years.
But Arthur Blank been letting that joke. He been letting him slide. He been letting him slide like a baby coming down the canal.
Yeah, he should have been the first one.
I'm just saying, dog. Rich McKay been sliding like a newborn baby coming out of the birth canal since he been here, dog. He got to go.
Yeah, he messed up and got a promotion.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I mean, it's one thing for you to run the soccer club. We good with that because they winning and they're competitive. But you can't get this football team to be competitive. Exactly. Rich McKay got to go too. Like Robert Harris, got to go.
Truth behind that, he's a great business guy. That's the only reason why he's here. He can't build a team worth of you know what. But, going forward, man, to be honest, Arthur Blank, and I think Mike Vick messed it up for a lot of people. He just got to put that thing cap back on, and he got to go out and find dogs, man. He got to go out and find guys that want to win, are hungry to win. We have coaches that haven't even got a job yet, like what's the guy that was in Detroit, the offensive coordinator, the black guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Went over to the XFL and coached the number one offense in the league. So it's talent out there. You just got to go find it, man.
Yeah.
Smitty, you've been watching this show, haven't you? Because that's exactly what I've said. Just like Killian been watching yours, you've been watching me. I've been
saying that for 2 years, though, dog. I mean, it's just common sense. What did you just say earlier? Common sense just ain't common.
It ain't.
And great minds think alike. They're awesome.
And that's why we wanted you to come on here, because here's the thing. Outside of your platform, because like I said, I've been a fan of that for a while and definitely love what you bring to the table when it comes to your perspective. And your shorts are amazing, bro, because a lot of the stuff that we've been saying on here, you mirror that. And I said, dang, we got to get this brother on here, because it's like, man, you know, it's just one thing, because I said this a long time ago. Arthur Blank, and I got my military vets on here. Shout out U.S. Coast Guard right here, Army at the bottom, and then you got my man at the top, that's Navy. So you know what it is. So when I say the letters PTSD, you understand what I'm talking about. Arthur Blank has PTSD of Michael Vick. Period.
He does.
Period.
He does.
Because you're going to get more company men coming into this company because you're afraid to get a guy that comes from that element because you got burned. You know what, dog? Quit being a scoring lover. Quit being a scoring lover. You got
catch up with the time. Catch up with the time. Yeah.
Thank you. You got cheated on. You got lied to. Guess what? Rip the Band-Aid off. Get over it. Move on. Put a winning product out here, because we already know that you took freaking Arthur Smith because of his dad being the top dog at FedEx, and you think about it. You got a partnership with them because of him getting hired. My thing is, you should have brought in Eric Bieniemy to put a winning product on the field, because guess what? When you win games in Atlanta, whether it's the Braves, whether it's the Falcons, you're going to get this money. And Atlanta United, you saw that. You have sellout games with the United because you have a winning product on the field, period. Even though you got rid of one of the best players of all time.
Tell you how you can fix that, though.
Yeah.
He has a guy in the front office right now that can fill Rich McKay's spot too. Because when he was in New Orleans, he was the president and player
Thank you.
personnel of football operations. So he knows how to build a team. And he really built this team just like the team he had in New Orleans. He just doesn't have a company coach to make the play calls.
What you think about this, Smitty? And I'm gonna ask my guys this too, because I want y'all to chime in. You go ahead and relieve Rich McKay his duties with the Falcons. You let him still run the soccer club because he's doing a wonderful job with the soccer club, period. Because they're winning and they're in the playoffs every other year, pretty much, since they've been in existence. You say, hey, I need you to run this soccer club the way that you've been running it. I want to go in a new direction. I'm not firing you because you're still working with me. I'm going to move up Terry Fontenot, and I'm going to bring in Louis Reddick as my GM.
Ooh, boy.
You know who else would be a good person in the front office here, and nobody talks about it, is Tony Dungy. What he did in Tampa Bay was just crazy.
Tony ain't trying to leave that cush job, man. And
Warren Sapp and Derrick Brooks in the same draft. Come on, man. Come on. And I guarantee y'all might think I'm wrong. Y'all can agree, y'all can disagree. The last 3 drafts, how many times do you think Terry Fontenot got overruled about who he wanted to bring in?
You want me to expose a conversation we might have had, but I'm not gonna say who told us, because we've had a couple of Falcon players to come on here and you've seen that. I'm not gonna say who, but I'll just say this. Terry Fontenot wanted a quarterback when they took Kyle Pitts. He got overruled by Arthur Blank and Arthur Smith. So it's pretty much like a man in a karate contest with one leg. He ain't got a shot. That's pretty much what it was. And all I'm saying is this, brother. When you have a guy that helped build New Orleans, and I hate New Orleans, but you got to give him credit for that. When you, like you said, Smitty, he got overruled in that doggone war room. And I'm talking about every year he's gotten overruled. Bijan wasn't his pick. Neither was Drake London. He had to pull the trigger because if he didn't, his job would have been gone. So the whole thing is this.
I'm gonna give y'all a scenario. Go ahead, but I'm gonna give y'all a scenario right quick before.
No, I want to hear your scenario.
Go ahead. Okay, you look at 2021. A guy named Michael Parsons is on the board. 2022, and we talk about Michael Parsons. Me myself, I think he the modern era LT. As I look at it, 2022. No knock against Drake London, but there was Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson on the board to me, who are more dynamic receivers. They just a little bit shorter. Then you get into this year. You got a dominant defensive tackle that playing right now in Philadelphia. That is the highest rated defender in the NFL. So you have 2 guys that are the highest rated defensive players in the league. We passed over both of those guys. Then with Drake London, no knockout him. He had a great game last week. But you have Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, who's in New York and New Orleans, to me, who are having better seasons. So you look at the players that they passed up the last 3 years, and I go all the way back to 2015 with Vic Beasley.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Could y'all imagine on that Super Bowl team? Could you imagine on that Super Bowl team, Todd Gurley in that backfield?
You know what? You stealing some clips from my show, I see. Because I said
I'm not. Hey, I talk about this all the time. But
I'm just clowning, bro. But think about it. They want the good old wholesome boys. That's what it is. They want the good old wholesome boys. They don't want the cats that they don't want the brothers. I ain't gonna, I got to keep it PG because we're on the camera. They don't want the brothers to come up in here. And when I say the brothers, I'm talking about BROTHAS. Matter of fact, I'm gonna change the S to a Z. They don't want the brothers up in here. They want. I'm gonna have my mocha latte chachi drink this morning with my green tea. Those are the type of guys that they want representing the Falcons.
Yeah, but we need the Mike Tyson type people. The crazy folks.
I want to step on your testicles. I want to eat their heart.
I want to eat your children.
I had to go back. I had to go back to when Tyson was getting ready to fight Holyfield back in the day when he said that.
Boy,
And when he
brought
about
back
to fight
memories.
Lennox Lewis.
That brought back memories in living color, boy. Who I used to love that show.
It's beautiful with how everything is going now, you know.
Oh man.
And just think about this, dog. Now, this is the thing that kills me. The original owner, Rankin Smith, was a Georgia Bulldog. Period. And that's the reason why you got the red, black, and white. So I know we got other fans from other schools in here. We get it. But you got a Georgia alum that went and draft dogs. And now you got Arthur Blank, who's literally, that's in your backyard. You got to see one of the most dominant defenses or whatnot of all time. And you didn't even take one of those guys. All them boys up in Philadelphia or they in Pennsylvania right now. I mean, I'm sorry, in Pittsburgh right now. In the great
add on, they play
pretty much Pennsylvania is the state of the
3
dogs,
years in a row.
period.
Yeah. They play in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium 3 years in a row in the championship game. You got to see it front row. You were probably up in the luxury box looking.
Thank you. And just think about it, bro. When you talk about it, you had a chance. I get why they didn't go after Jalen Carter, because you knew it was gonna be a mess. But my thing was Jalen needed to get away from the state, because we already knew he no matter what he did, he was gonna always have the media hounding him, and it was gonna be them state troopers hounding him too. Yeah, I said it. So for you law enforcement folks, I apologize if I hurt your feelings if you're watching the show. And by the way, my grandfather was a cop for 30 years in Jacksonville, Florida. So ain't no disrespect. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You know, some of your other folks that work in them uniforms would have been hounding Jalen Carter if he was behind the wheel of a car. So, but you had a chance to get a Jordan Davis as well, a guy that would have been able to play the zero technique and open things up for Grady Jarrett. Could you imagine Jordan Davis, David Onyemata, and Grady Jarrett and Calais Campbell right now together?
It would be ruthless. Wouldn't even be fair.
Now,
Artavius Dixon, I talked about that on my show a couple of months ago. George Pickens was sitting in the second round. Why take Drake London that early? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And the Falcons had the key to the whole draft. If they took a defensive end right there, taking Drake London, the rest of people are going to take defensive end. Because when they took that wide receiver, there was a run on wide receivers after that.
It was.
A run on defensive linemen didn't come to the 20s. So you didn't have to reach. And again, we talked about character. Pickens has a lot of character. That's why he's always getting in trouble. But you have to have those kind of people on the team to motivate people. It's just that
he wasn't a problem off the field. That's the thing. Pickens is like a Terrell Owens. They're not problems off the field. It's on the field that you got to worry about them dudes costing you a penalty because they're so emotionally involved in the game.
So you're always playing with an edge. I guess.
And I'm like this, man. I want a guy that's gonna beat up a cat. Pickens earned my respect even more, and you got to talk about it. Homeboy from the Gump, and we don't like nothing that come up out of Bama unless it's coming to Georgia. But that boy from out of the Gump, and the area he came up in, he was already rough around the edges. So when he beat down Pat Swilling Jr. in that game with Georgia Tech and slung him into the wall, that is a guy that you want to play for the Falcons that's got an edge. Because guess what?
Right.
When you get a guy that comes in with that edge that I don't care, I'm gonna beat him down like he owe me money. You got a guy in there that's like that, it's gonna rub off. But when you get company men in the team, that's what it's gonna be. You're gonna have boardroom directors trying to play football, and you're gonna have Bible thumpers that's gonna be quoting Bible verses. Like, and no disrespect, because I believe in the Lord myself. But my thing is this: everywhere has his place. Reggie White was the only man that could probably quote scripture and pray for you while he was whipping your behind on the field.
Right. You ain't lying. I know you ain't lying.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna challenge nobody like that, but Reggie was a different dog.
He was a different breed.
You talk about Bible verses. Why did you tell Matt Hollins thou should not lie? He know he went off on Desmond Ritter. He know he did. But you need those kind of guys. You need that.
Yeah.
They say, you know what's funny? They say the meek shall inherit the earth. Now, I threw a Bible verse in there, but let's be real. On the outside, I want them to be meek guys in front of the camera. I don't mind. But on the field, I want you to be a demon. I want you to be a demon. I want you to contradict everything you say to the media because you want to look right. But I need to see an extra elbow. I'll take a 15-yard penalty if I get an offensive lineman that'll sit there and set the tone like Harvey Dahl used to do back in the day. I want a guy that's like that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Because if you hit a defensive end in the throat like Harvey Dahl used to,
they're gonna get in the mind of yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you think we're ever, if Arthur Blank up and dies today, I pray that he doesn't, knock on wood. If he was up and die, do you think if we had a new owner, or if he sold the team, if you think if we had a new owner, do you really believe we can start bringing in them type of cats to Atlanta? Because the only thing Atlanta don't have is really a beach. Is man, and I ain't talking about Lake Lanier, that's man-made, but I'm just saying, do you think that Atlanta has everything you would want, business-wise, entertainment-wise, everything you could think of is right in the city? If you bring in a guy that's going to bring in guys with an edge, do you think the Falcons would be more of an attractive place? And we're going to wrap it up on this
one. Wow. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. If he died tomorrow, Rich McKay still here? No. But if he has left the team in the proper hands, oh, yeah. They're going to bring in somebody, probably promote Terry Fontenot, because he's built the winning team before he won a Super Bowl in New Orleans. So, yeah, if they leave the team in the right hands, oh, yeah. But if Rich McKay is still part of the puzzle, no, that's just like having a flu on a summer day, man. Come on.
Well, I feel like if we was to die today, I hate to say, talking those senses, but if that was to happen, then I feel like Smitty was saying, you have to have the right people in place to be successful, but also you got to go out and, like I said, and go get the right coaches to be successful in this offense. So for the Falcons to move forward, I just feel like they got because to bring people to this city, a lot of people have their baby mothers here. They come to the party. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to work.
Half they baby mamas work on Magic City Mondays, dog. What you mean?
But that's
what happened to plans that's up in here.
Or the Waffle House.
The problems that you just want to come. It's the party city. Party. It's hard to stay focused and play football with all the distractions that are here in Atlanta. I'm just being a realist because I'm born and raised from the city of Atlanta, and I do better living outside of Atlanta than I did living inside of Atlanta. So it may be for a player. So I'm just saying, I'm just looking at the whole picture. But I do feel like we can be successful because we've had successful football teams in the past. But you got to put the right people in place to go back to what Smitty was saying and to piggyback off what he was talking about.
Great bit. What you got?
I hope it doesn't happen. Just gonna put that out there. But if some untimely event does happen, I think because we're gonna need a facelift. We're gonna need a identity that fit.
Okay.
If you go,
I guess he ended up cutting out, but he'll be right back. Let him finish out his thoughts.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got to go ahead and wrap it up, baby.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. You just gotta find some people that fit the culture of Atlanta, man. Not all these company people, not all these yes men or whatever like we got right now. But I agree with Smitty. If Rich McKay there, no. That simple, no.
I say this because I'm gonna get on to it right now. I say it like this, man. I really feel like we have to get people in here that not just understand football, but they understand people. Because you have to realize that the type of person that you bring in is going not just to reflect the community, it's also going to reflect what you're trying to put out on the field. Let's be honest. Everybody that lives in Atlanta is not rich. Everybody is not all the way Black Hollywood like everybody think. The real Atlanta is the folks that were gentrified out of the city and sent to the suburbs and stuff like that. Let's talk about it. Back in the day, everybody know about the inner city of Atlanta. If you're an 80s baby, 70s baby, you know what real Atlanta was. I was born in 87, Grady baby, 6:54 a.m. And I'm going to tell you just like this. I remember before the Olympics got to the city. I remember Techwood Homes. I remember riding through East Lake Meadows, and you talking about Carver Homes, all these places that's like this back in the day. I'm from the Ben Hill area. I'm going to tell you just like this. I remember when the city had a grittiness to it. Everybody sees Atlanta now as a bougie city with snobbish Black folks. Let's just keep it a buck. I hear that up here. I hit it up here living in Philly. I'm like, nah, man, I'm old school now. You know what I'm saying? That is the type of team that you got to bring to the city. You have to bring that grittiness back. Even though we have a bunch of bougie folks that forgot where they come from, I'm just going to be honest. You have to have that type of recipe to win in the NFL. You're not going to win with these guys that play on the country club. You're not going to win with guys that are going to be playing backgammon and smoking cigars. You got to get some real dogs in this city, because whether you realize it or not, there are more people that have evolved because of age, because like my guy Killian says all the time, you get better with age. You always have to evolve. Every 4 years, you're going to evolve. Every 4 to 5 years, you're going to change. You're not the same person. But if you want to win ball games, you keep that same ratchet type mentality on the football field by bringing some of these guys in that's got a killer instinct.
Facts.
So until we get a killer instinct and a killer product on the football field, we're going to forever be seen as a finesse soft team. Because if you remember in the old Fulton County Stadium, there used to be a sign that used to hang up on in the stands. If it ain't red, it's dead. And you would smell liquor in Fulton County Stadium back in the day. Now you don't even have half of the fans that we had back then, because everybody wants to come into there. We got our ice on, we dressed up, we trying to sit there and perk for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Talk about our money. Man, look. I respect folks that get their money. I ain't disrespecting you, but I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're gonna go to a Falcon ball game, stand up on your own to and root for this team and bring some heat and some heart for these jokers. Let's make Atlanta hostile like it once was when they ran the Miami boys up out the city. Let's go back to those days in the stadium, baby. That's all I got for you tonight.
Hey man, and I'm gonna be real. You didn't say nothing about the implants. We got more implants than Pamela Anderson, but
Ooh.
I wasn't even gonna mention the jokers that got dropped off by the Mayflower. And when I say the Mayflower, I'm talking about the moving company. I ain't talking about the ship.
I know who you're talking about too.
I know I had to make sure I put that out there, because we got some folks that sit there and try to take it to another level. Oh, he trying to be racist. Now there is a moving company called Mayflower, ladies and gentlemen. So I had to put that out there. So most of these jokers that's done moved to Atlanta now, they came off the Mayflower moving truck. So it's just what it is, baby.
What it is.
My name, and I appreciate you for coming on tonight, Smith, joining us. Y'all check out Smitty's Time Machine. He has some great insight, great infos. You know, he's on there with Berto for 95 North. I got to link up with Berto, man. I haven't even talked to him yet. I gotta talk to him, because he's up in the Jersey area from what I was told. So he ain't that popular. So, I'm sorry. Still closer than Georgia right now. So I definitely gotta holler at Berto. But look, we definitely appreciate this. Ain't gonna be the last time we have you on here, homie.
Oh no.
So everybody that's on here for the first time, this is called the BirdCage LLC. Y'all can check us out. Thursdays we're on at 8 p.m. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. even in the off season. But we also have a segment called On the Perch. We bring in former athletes from back in the day, and we're working on some younger athletes now, trying to get them to come on. But we've got some former Falcons that have come through: Terrence Mathis, Haskell Standback, recently Mr. Dewey McClain, some legendary HBCU figures from back in the day. Bill Hayes was one of the ones who came on, and you had Coach George Williams. We've had so many guys to come through here that have literally touch the show, and they love football, and they talk football with us, and Falcons football on top of that. But y'all check us out. On the Perch normally is on Wednesdays during the season, but when the off season hits, it's Thursday at 8. Those are our shows. So thank you again, Smitty, for coming on. My guys, the OGs of this, K-Dub, Great Beard. We definitely appreciate y'all for coming on. We love y'all. Check us out. Like and subscribe to both shows, Smitty's Time Machine and the BirdCage LLC. You already know how we get down. You either get right or you get left, baby. So, y'all didn't get left tonight. Y'all got right. So we definitely appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week. Much love, and y'all be easy out there. Peace.
Ready.